Hello. Yes. What's up, everybody? You can tell I must be a little bit bored tonight. I just, I'd be surprised when it stops on by, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, hey, man, this Odyssey thing has just been on my mind for the past, the past few days now since I've watched the movie. And I'm like, dude, the fabricated praise and the amount of glazing and the betrayal that I feel from some of my most favorite movie reviewers and critics. It's sickening, down to your Rotten Tomato score. So it's like I just feel so compelled to even talk about this right now in regards to everything that's going on. I'll be surprised if anybody's gonna hop on. I know it's Saturday. It's 9:55. I'm like, might as well, I guess, just slide on through. You know what I'm saying? And just speak for a little bit, speak my piece, and just talk about this whole debacle. I appreciate all the support from my previous videos. I think my main movie review is at almost what 8,000 something views, almost 1,000 likes, and so I really appreciate you guys in regards to that. I thank you for the support. By any means, I do not hate Christopher Nolan. Again, Christopher Nolan is one of the greatest movie directors of all time, and is just very frustrating and disappointing and just so disheartening that I was very excited for this movie, and I decided to, look into the audiobooks and do research in regards to Homer's The Odyssey. I don't care if it wasn't based on mainly his book or anything like that, but the whole point is it still is entwined with the story of the Odyssey that is inclined from Homer. So I just feel the need to really speak on this because it just blows me away that they didn't decide to do this as a trilogy, that they didn't give this the love and care that this movie deserved. There weren't any Greek actors and actresses in here when the story originated in Greece. So Greece deserves that respect and regard because the story is from their motherland, it's from their land. So it's just a lot of controversy, a lot of fake movie reviews, and just fabricated bullshit in regards to how epic people are saying this movie is. So right now, this movie is on Rotten Tomatoes, and it is high. It is Christopher Nolan's highest rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes. Can you believe that? That is straight horseshit. This movie it's not better than The Dark Knight. This movie is not better than Interstellar. This movie is not better than Inception, but yet it is his highest rated movie. You feel me? It's 1% higher than The Dark Knight. That is unacceptable. What's up, Angar? I see you in the chat, man. Nothing much. What's going on with you, Angar? I'm just, just wanted to. What's subtitles? Yeah, Apocalypto and the Passion of Christ, man. A lot of people are saying that Mel Gibson should have probably done this. My aspect and insight on what I think about what should have been done with this movie, with such the epic tale and the heritage and the Greek mythology and the 10-year long journey at sea trying to defy the gods, all the trials and tribulations and all the gods, it's just why put all of this in one movie firstly, which kind of throws the pace out of whack because you're trying to fit a 10-year epic journey in a 2 hour and 52-minute movie. That's just not possible. And then when you put all that together, you're not satisfying the source material, but you're just wanting to satisfy the general modern audience. And that is just such a disrespect, like, to the people of Greece. You feel me? And it's just very distasteful. And I just thought Christopher Nolan was a better class of character than that. So it's just like people are just thinking that he bowed down to the industry cock and he just did what he did. He said he's going to modernize the movie. Why would you modernize this? And yet, even though you kind of did modernize it, when I watch the movie, it's like, yo, where's the gods? Where's the mysticism? Where's the enchantment of Greece, of the Greek mythology in this movie? It's nowhere to be found. All we got was a Cyclops. We got the giants on the island. We got Cersei and her magic and grotesque. One of the best parts of the movie is the Cyclops and Cersei's grotesque pig transformations. That was pretty cool and awesome and everything like that. But it still just does not compare to what the story divulges. When you read the story, it's like, bro, all the source material, all the stuff that you left out, that if you displayed it in live action, you're looking at an easy one of the greatest, trilogies or movies of all time that it could have been. Again, I will keep saying this until the end of me. This movie should have been a trilogy. It should have been multiple movies. Why fit a 10-year epic in one movie? I just don't understand that, dude. It's like, why settle for mediocre when you can give us God tier? And that is what Nolan has always given us. But for this specific movie, we don't get that. Yeah, I agree, Angar. I agree that to me, he shouldn't have done this movie, but he got it. You feel me? I said Peter Jackson. I said Peter Jackson. Let Peter Jackson, Lord of, you know, dude, let him Lord of the Ring. Give this the Lord of the Rings treatment. They should have gave this movie the Lord of the Rings treatment. Give it a trilogy. So we can have time to get to become attached with Odysseus's crew. We can really get great character development with Odysseus, Penelope, Telemachus, you know what I'm saying, the suitors, and what and everything like that. Just everything could have been fleshed out instead of just engorging this all in one film. You know what I mean? And also pay respect and pay your dues to where the movie originated from, to where the story originated from. It came from Greece. So why take everything out special about this story and then and then isolate the people that gave us isolate the land that this movie came from, that the story originated from. Dude, it's just like, yeah, Peter Jackson, bro. I was like, and you know what's crazy? Christopher Nolan wrote this movie, bro. I didn't even know that. Christopher Nolan wrote this movie. What the freak? And you know what's crazy, dude? Do you know what's crazy? That most of Christopher Nolan's epic films, or some of his most epic, iconic films, those movies were co-written by his brother, Jonathan Nolan, which I didn't even know that. I kind of had an idea that Jonathan, his brother, helped him write, certain things or whatnot, or probably gave him certain ideas. But I didn't know Jonathan Nolan co-wrote five of Nolan's major films. His brother co-wrote Memento. He co-wrote The Prestige, The Dark Knight Rises, and Interstellar. It's crazy, bruh. Well, he should have had his brother help him write this motherfreaker, because it's just not it. It's just not it. And again, people just worship Rotten Tomatoes. When are we gonna get past the Rotten Tomatoes bullshit? Like, I'm sorry. Am I living in bizarro world? I don't give a freak what Rotten Tomatoes says. And you know what's crazy? Are people out of their freaking mind, or do they have screws loose? Does anybody know? Do you guys know who owns Rotten Tomatoes? Do you guys know? Do you guys know who owns Rotten Tomatoes? Just to give you, I'm gonna get to that, Angar, but just to let you guys know, Comcast owns Universal Studios, and Comcast also owns Rotten Tomatoes. NBC Universal slash Comcast has 75% shares, bruh, in Rotten Tomatoes. And who produced the Odyssey? Universal Pictures. So do you think a company that owns Universal Pictures, that is producing the Odyssey, and that basically owns Rotten Tomatoes, one of the biggest movie sources of ratings, do you think that a movie that is attached to the main company is going to get a bad review or going to get a realistic review and realistic critical rating from a movie that is owned by the same company that owns Rotten Tomatoes? I don't. It's like, are you? Is it clocking to anybody that this epic masterpiece rating is fabricated because the movie and Rotten Tomatoes are owned by the same parent company? Use your freaking brains. Oh, I forgot, a lot of people they don't use common sense, isn't common anymore. So obviously this is somewhat fabricated because there's no way in hell that the Odyssey should be getting that high of a score. If we're going to be real critical and real movie critics here and tell the truth out here, dude, there's a lot of dude, this movie is 1% higher than The Dark Knight. Are you freaking kidding me? This movie is higher than the Lord of the Rings Return of the King, than the Lord of the Rings The Fellowship of the Ring. Get the freak out of here, bro. It's like, am I living in Bizarro World? What the freak is happening? I've been abducted and I've been sent to a world where mediocre films are god tier and legendary films are just bare bones. What are we doing here? And Angar, I see what you're saying. You said, was the film dark and gloomy the whole time? The film, I would say majority of the movie is very dark and gloomy, which in accordance to that, it being in Greece and the Mediterranean, it didn't have much colors to pop in regards. And that kind of gave the vibe of why some people, bro, I was drifting off. I didn't drift off hard. I wasn't falling asleep, but I was just like this on my chair. Just because there's certain parts, it has good, cool, epic moments, but throughout a 2 hour and 52-minute movie, it's not enough to really stretch it out for the whole journey of watching this movie. So sometimes I had to adjust myself just to stay awake. And I see, is that Treen and Cove 1726? Do you watch Jody's Corner? Yeah, I watch Jody's Corner. I grew up on Jody's Corner. I grew up watching Jody's Corner, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love Jody, man. Jody's hilarious. He's very good. Jody, there's very few times that I disagree with him, very few times, but he's a very nice, great, analytical, passionate movie reviewer. And he's a very, very real in what he says and his things and how he believes in, what he truly believes in. He's gonna go full bare bones with it. So yeah, man, I watched Jody's Corner, especially when I was younger too, when it was the Justice League and back in the day, man. Yeah, so yeah, I watched Jody's Corner. I watch it every now and again, not as a lot, but I take a look at it every now and again. But yeah, man. And then I just I don't know, guys. I mean, has anybody seen the Odyssey? Anybody in the chat? Because I've already seen it. Wanted to talk about it, get into it. But yeah, man. I mean, honestly, the movie is just, you could say majority of the movie is gloomy and dark because, and that's, even though it's the whole point of a sorrowful journey of Odysseus going through these trials and tribulations, and he just wants to get home, and everything leading up to him, being seen as defying the gods, and then the gods setting their punishment on Odysseus. So obviously, coming in, I kind of already knew that this wasn't going to be this movie wasn't going to have a lot of happy-go-lucky moments, because it's just sad. It's just the overall just tale of just triumph, but also sorrow and consequences, and just what it means to defy the gods, and what it means to overcome even the triumph, even the tribulations of gods, just to get back to the ones you love and just to get back home. But it did have a little bit of color in certain areas, but most of the colors were muted, but it did have some decent colors. You know what I'm saying? The ocean would pop when it needed to, you know. And I mind you, there was scenes like the Cyclops scene with Polyphemus, Poseidon's son. It's just like the way that part of the story was told within Homer's story. It's like, dude, if they would have just followed that same ingredient, that same formula, and put it in the movie, that would have just been so awesome to see. Polyphemus having a personality to him, bruh. Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah, Treen and Cove. You just asked. I haven't seen it yet, but can Travis Scott act, bruh? He barely, dude. He's barely. It's like he's somewhat of a speaker or he's basically like a public speaker or just like a hype man. It's like he was basically like a hype man, and just shouting stories to the suitors. He didn't do. He was barely. If literally, Travis Scott was in this movie for like 2 to 3 minutes. So troll of 229 and the variable 9. You and your 6 viewers have fun bitching about a good movie. Yeah, and you have fun coming in my chat bitching yourself. I never said the movie wasn't good, buddy. It's just not as good as everybody's saying it is. But yeah, feel free to make yourself at home. Trust me, I see it all in the comments. How about you act your age? I don't know how old you look. You look old enough to act your age. And if you want to talk about the movie, if you disagree, yeah, and if you want to disagree, you could come in here like a grown ass man and talk like you have manners and like you're a grown man. If you disagree with what I'm saying, I'll even put I'll even put the link in the chat if you want to talk about it. It's funny that we I don't trash anybody in their opinion. I'm not gonna say someone's a bitch or get mad about your opinion. But if you want to talk, I'll even put the link in the chat, bro. If you're such a man to come in and talk to me about it and tell me what makes this movie epic, Mr. Troll of 229. Trent and Cove. Yeah, everyone starts somewhere. I don't give a damn. At least I have the balls to start a YouTube channel. And I guess I must be saying something right because my review it's almost at 8,000 views and almost over 1,000 likes. But yeah, I'm bitching about a good movie. Yeah, okay. And lifelong 6687, what is up, my guy? He said, bro, Odyssey just didn't hit. I was straight up bored out of my mind. And again, a lifelong 6687. It's like I- it's the point is there's such nice, awesome, epic moments in the movie. But again, the movie is so long and you have to make sure you flesh out the characters, the exposition, you know what I'm saying, setting up, situations and scenes, big payoffs. And again, you're trying to put all of this epic 10-year journey of Odysseus trying to get back home from sea, and you're trying to put it all in one movie. It could make the pacing could kind of be everywhere because you're in the present, you're in the past, you're in the present, you're in the past, and you're kind of jumping around. The best option would be for them to respectfully just make this more than one film. This just should have been a trilogy, and I'm gonna stick by that. Oh, appreciate it, man. Thank you, Tree and Cove. Thank you for subscribing. If you do collabs, you'll build your audience. Dude, I'm always down to do collabs. It's fun to me, bro. I like debating and talking about films. It's just the weird part is mother freakers threaten to hunt you down and they hope your family dies or your mom gets cancer if you disagree with their opinion about a film. I like to talk about movies and debate about movies. It's fun. We all have our own different opinions and different perspectives. I stand on my opinion, you're going to stand on yours. We'll either agree to disagree, or if someone can prove to me that I'm wrong. I'll accept it. I'll take the L with the freak. But no, the internet is just full of weirdos and immature grown ass dudes with Cheetos and fat tits and and just I don't mind doing it. I truly don't. I'm like an open book. I'm a chill guy, dude. I'll do collab link. It's if someone but yeah, man. Has anyone else actually really seen, the Odyssey? And firstly, has anyone read the Homer story? Have you read the story of the Odyssey of Homer? Have you seen it by audiobook? Have you read it when you're, a long time ago in high school, even in elementary? Have you known of the book before the movie came out? I'd be very interested to know. But yeah, man, I don't know. Still to me, this movie, the Odyssey still to me the Odyssey isn't even top 5 for Nolan. It would be a lower top 10 of Christopher Nolan films. It's in that lower it's in it could be middle top 10, middle of the 10 or lower of the top 10. But the Odyssey is nowhere near top 5 of Nolan films. I still got to give it up for Nolan's films to being the greatest is the Interstellar. It's like Dark Knight, Inception. I still need and I've heard so much good things about Memento. I still have not watched Memento, but people are saying that that is his, magnum opus. That Memento is Christopher Nolan's greatest film. And again, he's had co-writing help from his brother, which I never knew his brother was a writer and helped him co-write certain films. And if that's the case, he should have had his brother help him co-write this film to try to figure out how to turn a 10-year epic journey into a digestible single film to tell this whole story. I really think probably his brother should have honestly jumped on the wagon to help him out with that. And then Tree and Cove said, What did I think about Supergirl?" It's funny because if you and I have a Supergirl review on my channel, and people even called me a shill when I did that. It's crazy. You can't win from losing. I actually liked Supergirl in a certain way, and it's funny because I was not a fan at all of Superman 2025. And then when it came to Supergirl, I liked the different take of the trauma that she was going through, even though yes, it had Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. The movie is damn near mid. Supergirl is a very mid movie, and so is Superman 2025 is a very mid movie. And the thing with Superman 2025, it was just too goofy for me. But when it came to Supergirl, you see her trauma, you see Krypton before destruction. You see her at Argus. You see her, watching her parents suffer, and then you see her, mentally suffering and things like that. Bro, it's just to me when it came to Supergirl, I was just like, this is a different take on the character. Which again, I know the movie was not that great whatsoever, but it was just better than what I thought it was going to be. I thought Supergirl was going to be straight garbage, but honestly, it wasn't. And I had fun seeing Lobo do his thing in there with Jason, even though the muscling suit that he had, the muscle body suit, in certain aspects kind of looked a little cringy. But again, overall, dude, like I liked Supergirl somewhat. I gave it a C plus. I think I gave Supergirl C plus. It was a little bit over up average for me because again, I expected it to be atrocious. But it really wasn't, dude. Certain parts in there I like, bro. She kicked ass in that movie. Supergirl kicked ass, bro. I think Supergirl kicked, Superman in 2025, she would kick his ass because she was going ham in there. She killed Krem. I'm like, hell yeah, chick. I was like, get it, girl. Fuck. All right. Oh, what's up? Romeo had Juliet. What's going on, man? He said there's a trend with Nolan since Prestige. He starts his stories establishing hard rules and limitations and ends up with therapeutic new age reconciliation. Odyssey does the same. You know, and when it comes to Christopher Nolan, you know what I'm saying? True, real Christopher Nolan fans know how he has built and structured his old films, his old cinematography, his old catalog of movies. So it's like when it Romeo, had Juliet. When it comes to how Christopher Nolan structures his films, it's like if you've watched enough of the films, you kind of know what's up his alley, and you know sometimes that he could kind of stumble over himself. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just that's just if you're a Christopher Nolan fan, you know what you're coming to get. Even on Christopher Nolan's bad day, it's still a decent film. You're like, all right, yo, yes, that was still pretty all right. It wasn't his best, and I feel like the Odyssey is gonna fall in that basket. The Odyssey's not terrible. It's just I would say it's to me it's still the worst film that he's done because in my eyes it's just extremely disrespectful to the story in itself, the lore, and the people of Greece. Didn't even cast a Greek actor or actress. You didn't uphold any type of Greek accent within the film itself. It's like you took away and you didn't even have the gods in there, dude. Like it, and I'm not talking about Athena and Circe or things like that, Calypso. I mean like Poseidon, Hermes, Helios, like all the stuff that made the story so awesome, epic, and raw in Greek mythology. You didn't put it in there, and I'm just like, why? Why settle to not go for it and make this movie on god tier status? That was my ordeal with this film. Truly, it was. But the movie's not terrible, not at all. If you like the movie, I'm hats off to you. I'm glad. That's just where I stood with how I was in my review. But and I see Tree and Cove said, "What do you think of critical drinker neurotic and the guy neurotic guys in their analysis of modern films?" You can see about critical drinker and neurotic. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are like late 40s, early 50s in their age group. They grew up with Terminator. Grew up with Pulp Fiction. Grew up. So dude, they came up off of the golden age of films. You know what I'm saying? So their analysis is as sound as it is in regard to their eyes. I don't agree with every single thing that Critical Drinker and Neurotic says, but I kind of somewhat agree with mostly damn near everything they said because all the movies that they've grew up on and they compare their analysis. I've seen those movies growing up too, because in my house, we had a lot of VHSs. My mom and my dad, made sure we had the VHSs on deck, and I grew up watching, older classic films, and that kind of shaped why I view movies in certain ways too, like that, and I grade them those ways. Seeing movies in regards, like I said, like Terminator with I still haven't watched Predator. Don't kill me. I haven't watched Predator, Terminator, Rocky, just classic films, man. We know the films they grew up in the era of films that shaped pop culture forever in regards to cinema. So that's why Critical Drinker and Neurotic have such a extensive, precise, and sharp analysis with these modern films because all they grew up with was peak and masterful class things. Even 90s and 80s movies that weren't that good were still enjoyable, and they still basically age like fine wine when you look at these classic films and you study them as homework and you just break them down and compare them to modern films. You got to think about it, bro. Films now are just declining. It's funny that the CGI gets better, the graphics get better, the camera qualities get better, the sound systems get better for movies nowadays, but they never seem to grasp the greatness of movies like The Godfather, you know what I'm saying? The Departed, even Scarface. Like we're not. It's like why can we not replicate iconic characters like that anymore? There's not iconic original films that are able to create new stars. If you even think about it too, nowadays it's just that's just how it is, bro. And then I see where it says, okay, lifelong 6687. He says it really comes down to personal taste. While you like Supergirl, I totally respect that. It didn't land for you. It didn't land. Didn't land for you. It's fair that it didn't hit the mark for me the way it did for you. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, and I respect that lifelong 6687, man. It's just that's how it is. I respect that, dude. We all have different preferences. Everybody, hey, man, an opinion's like an asshole. Everybody's got one, but it's just being mature enough to have a discussion. And even if you want to debate, that's fine. Have fun with a debate. But I just love talking about movies with people and seeing their perspective on it, my perspective on it, and seeing if they can make me see something in a movie that I haven't seen, or I could do the same for them. That's what it's all about, bro. That is what it's all about. And then Amber Lopez, how you doing? She's like, the oddity is a turd. See, see, well, I won't say it's a turd, Amber. I won't say it's a turd, but it's just it's just such a shell of the story. It is such a shell of the story, and it could have been one of the greatest fantasy epics of all time if they did it the right way, and if they stuck to if to me if they stuck kind of as close as to the source material of Homer's poem as much as possible of Homer's story. And then Tree and Cove said, I think they're ruining film criticism. Instead of reviewing the actual films, they mail everything political and rage bait their audiences. Yeah, and that's why I said, yeah, Tree and Cove, I agree with that too. That's why I said, there's certain times that I do agree with certain things that they say and how they think, but sometimes they get very extremist about it. That's why even when I was watching Supergirl and seeing even though Millie said some stupid stuff on the red carpet, you feel me, about Supergirl's sexuality, of her being, bi or whatever, whatnot, and how Millie was saying stupid things on the red carpet or whatever, whatnot. That didn't even matter to me, bro. I was looking at, just the film itself, the project itself. Like, I don't care about your religion, your sexuality, any of that, for any of these superstars and these actors and stuff. Just give me a good film. But yeah, the personal attacks on Millie Alcock's looks is utterly ridiculous. I think, to me, Millie Alcock is still, she's pretty to me, and she's pretty beautiful to me in a very foreign and extensive way. Even with the way her teeth is at the bottom, I respect that as natural beauty, to where she could have got her little lower teeth fixed, but she didn't care to even do that. Like, but she's not ugly to me by any means when it comes to Millie Alcock. And I think you cross a line to where you're making fun of how someone looks because of a freaking film. It's like, I don't know what it is. I respect people in that regard. I could disagree with anyone, but I'll never attack their family. I'll never attack how they look, their religion, their sexuality, any of that stuff. I go by the merits of how they grade their films, and how we go about discussing and debating on how this should have went, how the film's merits was, how the structure of the film was, things like that, performances, visuals, things like that. Actually sticking to what a movie critic should be talking about and should be grading. All that other stuff about SJW, MAGA, left, right wing, sexuality, the message, all this, I don't care about any of that. I just want to focus on the structure of the film. That's where I stand. No, but I get you. I get you on that, Tree and Cove. I do agree on that end. Sometimes they can go very overboard. And Romeo had Juliet said, the return is a much better Odysseus film. And I still never seen The Return. I heard about that, but I've never watched The Return. And then Names J. Oh, what's up? Names. Is that Namies? Namies Jeff? Namis J3FF. He said, What you think about Joker 2 besides that? It was the end of Arthur's story. Bro, oh, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Joker 2 pissed me off so bad. Oh, the Joker 2 Folie à Deux. Listen, man, coming from someone who oh yeah, name is Jeff. Yeah, I'm Jeff. Yo, what's up, Jeff, man? But nah, when it comes to Joker 2, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Coming from someone who loved the first Joker film, I adore that film. It's crazy how the Joker film was able to get you so invested in Arthur Fleck's story and watching the world drive him into something dark, molding him. If you think about it, the world mold him into the chaotic person that he became, in regards. And it's sad because in his heart he was really a good person. And then the world again, just a bad day after bad day after bad day, beating after beating, and just, bullying after bullying, and it finally morphed him. And then that catalyst of where Hoyt, or where Randall, yeah, Randall gave him that gun, and that was basically like the catalyst of really giving him that option of taking a life or not, or actually getting in that realm. And once he did that, it just sets off from there. I'll tell you this right now, bro. Todd Phillips, I always take my hats off to what he did with that Joker film. And Joaquin Phoenix, bro. Joaquin Phoenix is such a great actor. I loved him, in The Gladiator. I loved him in Signs. He's just got it, bro. And it was so fun to watch the Joker and just relate, because everybody has a Joker in them. You feel what I'm saying? Especially on how they divulge in that movie and how they really express that. And that movie, it's crazy how the Joker, you want to know, to me, what is the definition of a pop culture changing film, a memorable film? It's when, even when the first Joker, where you see him talking to Murray and he's like, "You get what you fucking deserve." Like, there's so many scenes in that movie of the Joker, especially when he's dancing, on the steps. It's like, this is cinema, this is film. You can relate so much with what was going on in that movie, and everything that was going on in that movie. Some scenes are just legendary, they're epic. It's like, it's meme worthy. Not even meme worthy, it's meme worthy, and it's quotable, and it's memorable. The rewatchability as well. The rewatchability for the Joker for me is so high. I could watch that so many times. And that's why I said in my review for the Odyssey, I can't for the Odyssey, I don't see myself buying the Odyssey on Blu-ray, you know what I'm saying, 4K, and saying, "Yeah, guys, I just bought the Odyssey. Let's watch the Odyssey." I don't see myself, to me the Odyssey has extremely low rewatchability. I feel like after you experience it, you might probably watch it one more time, but you're not going to be, for me, I'm not going to be like, "Yeah, man, I'm going to watch, let's watch the Odyssey." I'm not going to say, "Let's watch the Odyssey like on Friday." And then, a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever, I'm going to be, "Let's watch the Odyssey again, man." That's the difference between, that tells you what's truly legendary filmmaking and not. Because if you think about it, bro, for me and my brothers, you know, God rest his soul, for me and my brothers, when The Dark Knight came out, and when The Dark Knight was finally on DVD, me and my brothers watched The Dark Knight at least 3 times a week. If anything, 4 times, like 3 times a week here, 4 times a week over there. We That's what you call epic film. I know, who doesn't know Heath Ledger's Joker's lines by heart at this point? Who doesn't know his lines by heart? That's when you know you've broke the precipice of what a true legendary film is, what a true masterpiece of a film is. Yo, no, yo, Jeff, I'm not gonna lie. No, I saw that's how I watched the Odyssey. I watched the Odyssey in IMAX. And I'll tell you this first. This is one thing that does piss me off when it comes to watching the Odyssey in IMAX. They should have had a warning for anybody who has epilepsy. If you have epilepsy, there's a scene in the Odyssey where there's a scene in the Odyssey to where bright lights are flashing so strong that it can trigger an episode if you have epilepsy. That's how bright and flashing that was. There's people in the theater. Some people had to do this because we had front row seats. We were kind of close up to the screen, not too close, but close enough. So seeing it in IMAX, be careful, Jack, because even there's the scene with the Cyclops, and there's a scene when the Cyclops roars, and bro, it'll bust your eardrums. It'll sound like you're at a freaking concert. That IMAX, dude, those IMAX speakers, man, and this just the sheer force of things coming off of the screen and you watching it, and just the sound. Yeah, man, it's IMAX is the way to go, but just make sure you get a good decent seat but not too close. I'll tell you that right now. Don't get a seat that is too close because your eyes will get clapped and your ears will get effed. You feel me? I'm tell you that right now. But yeah, IMAX is the way to go for sure. I mean, the movie was shot and all was shot fully for IMAX for God's sake. So if you're gonna go see the Odyssey, go see it in IMAX for sure. Yeah, man, for real. I'll say that right now. You see, look, again, even though I didn't I didn't feel as exuberated for the Odyssey. I will never sit here and tell anybody don't watch it unless, even in my review, the only people that I said who shouldn't watch the Odyssey in my review is people that adore and love the original story from Homer, that have read it, that have looked upon it, that are real Greek mythological lovers and freaks. If you're like that, then don't watch it. Then do not watch the Odyssey. If you are a Greek mythological freak and you are a huge, gigantic fan of Homer's original story, then this will bother you. This may piss you off. I'm going to be honest with you. Because everything that made it special was stripped from this movie. What's up, Dandy Loop? Dandy Loop 417. How's it going? He says the opening made it clear it would be a 2 hour slow burn, bruh. While the final hour was genuinely impressive. Exactly. Yeah, the final hour is when it picked up and it had that nice score. That was the only time I heard that that was the only time that I can agree that the movie had a very good score when they, show the war in Troy. You know what I'm saying? And things are starting to pick up. And so he said, I enjoyed some standout scenes. The overall story could have been far more engaging. Dandy Loop, like I said, bro, I'm telling you right now. I feel like Christopher Nolan was not. This Greek mythology is not Christopher Nolan's cup of tea. And it's not a knock against him. People just worship Christopher Nolan so much they think that he can do every genre. That's cool and all. If you believe that, it's fine. But to me, he's not Greek mythology material. Obviously, from me watching this movie, and then obviously the respect given to the story. Because if they really truly wanted to respect telling the story, the Odyssey, in the right way, they should have picked a director who has common knowledge with dealing with fantasy mythological stories. And secondly, they should have made this a trilogy. This is a 10-year journey, guy. And yet you try to shove this 10-year journey in one movie. So it's kind of like you have no choice but to kind of hit the gas, slow down a little bit, hit the gas again. It's like in the movie you jump from present to past, his perspective, her perspective, character development here, character development there, slow burn right now, exposition, talking, growth, action. You know what I'm saying? Here, you have a mythological being there. It's just so much. It's so much. And again, this is a 10-year journey span from him being stuck at sea trying to get to home. And they try to do it all in one film. That's where, honestly, I think Christopher Nolan could have saved himself if he just did a trilogy and had his brother help him write the screenwrite and write the script. It just blows me away how Rotten Tomatoes, again, which is owned by Comcast, which Comcast owns Universal Pictures, and Universal Pictures produced The Odyssey. Oh, what's up? Is that Addy Purex? Addy Purex. What's up, man? He said, "Bro, tell me genuinely, was the Odyssey movie was any good, or is it boring as f as Oppenheimer?" No, no. Honestly, no. I would say the Odyssey is way more engaging than Oppenheimer. The only thing it's like because if you think about it, Oppenheimer, it's kind of like what's your fancy? It's like picking your fancy. What do you want to choose in regards to that? Because it is a biopic. That's why I didn't have a problem with Oppenheimer. I enjoyed it for what it was because I realized it was just a story about, the guy creating, atomic bomb and stuff like that. So it didn't bother me because it's like, all right, it's a biopic. But no, the Odyssey is definitely not as, boring as Oppenheimer. You feel me? Yeah, no, I love Oppenheimer too. Trust me, Bernard O'Connor. I love Oppenheimer a lot. It's just again, it depends on what your fancy is. If you love biopics, you're gonna love Oppenheimer. If you love action movies, you're gonna hate Oppenheimer. It's boring. It all depends on what fits your fancy. I love biopics. I love fantasy. I love action. I love drama. I love thrillers. I love certain horrors. Like I said, me being just a lover of just film in general, and just seeing it be displayed. I don't have a problem with any type of genre. I love any type of genre. If it is a good movie, hell, I like rom-coms, bro. I love romantic comedies. I love any type of movie as long as it's good. That's it. I just love good films, feel good films, epic cinematic films. But trust me, I will get on a film's ass if I see inconsistencies and I see that some things don't make sense. That's just the name of the game. Out of all the movie I've watched so many movies in my life, it truly built me up to have a movie critic brain early on in my life because I get so obsessively involved in movies that I have no choice but to analyze a movie differently than just a general audience moviegoer that just goes in and just wants to turn their brain off and just have a good time. There's even times where I even watched a movie and I tried to turn my brain off. But yet again, my childhood classic brain turns it right back on to movie critic mode because it's like all I've grown up with is just epic films, even classic 80, 90, 70 films that my parents let me watch. So it's kind of hard for me to just turn my head off, like turn my brain off and just try to just watch it as it is. Eat the popcorn and just like, yeah, this movie rocks. It's just, I try. I truly try, dude. But nah, man, no, I love Oppenheimer too. Like it was awesome and dope for what it was as a biopic. But Adi, yeah, Adi Purox definitely it's not boring. It's not boring at all whatsoever. As it's not as boring as Oppenheimer, but in terms and see Adi, the thing for me in terms of saying the word boring in regards, it's just to me the movie was such a boring depiction and reflection of what the story was that Homer gave us. There was so much fun, majestic, mythical Greek mythological events in the story for that Homer gave us that they did not put in the movie. And I'm not saying to make the movie exactly like the story, but bro, when you take all the best parts from the story out of the live action adaptation, it's like you're setting yourself up for failure. That's it. Oh yeah, he said, bro, you are right. Oppenheimer was a guy building an atomic bomb, and it delivered it perfectly. But the movie was boring, bro. Yeah, I know. Also, the atomic bomb blast scene was disappointing. There were some people because I was expecting some huge blast like Hiroshima. Honestly, yeah, I think a lot of people did have a problem too, like with with the size of the explosion of the atomic bomb. They were like, "Yeah, that was not that. It was not as big as we thought it was gonna be." It's just what I love too is bro, Killian Murphy as Oppenheimer. He just killed it. I love Killian Murphy, man. He's such a good actor, dude. I really wish Killian Murphy could have been Doctor Doom, but I throw my hands in the air. I want to Killian Murphy, and even you see the Harry Potter show. Probably it's good that he stays away from there. But I want Killian Murphy to be Doctor Doom or be Lord Voldemort for that new Harry Potter show. He just has that look, the sinister look. He just gets it. I always love him. He's such an underrated villain in the Batman Begins as Scarecrow. He was like, "I have some medicine. I think you should try some." I'm like, bro, this guy, and then him as Tommy Shelby, and Peaky Blinders, bro. Dude, you gotta give. I just love Killian Murphy, bro. Just like that's why I had to let the Oppenheimer slide, bro. Give him his flowers. Give him his flowers, dude. And then Tree and Cove said, I think the thing that will make your videos pop is if you add snippets of the film playing as you speak. I personally don't think you need it because I watch your videos as is, but that's just an idea. No, appreciate it, Tree and Cove, bro. I'm always open to general ideas. I'm telling you, in regards to just doing that as well, because I do work. I work a lot, man. I mean, either I'm at the gym. If you guys don't know, I love to go to the gym, man. I love to, and I'm also a musician as well. Like I rap, I sing, I write music, stuff like that. So I'm always doing a lot of stuff, man. And definitely, dude. But one thing for sure, movies. Talking about movies and watching movies is such a huge passion for me, and I promise you I will do as much as I can. I will start to do as more as I can for sure. I have a big plan set for Spider-Man Brand New Day. I have early fan screening tickets. So I'm going to actually see Spider-Man Brand New Day 3 days before the general public. I think it's 3 or 2. Yeah, I think it's 3 days before the general public. I get to see Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I plan to be outside and just try to ask a lot of Spider-Man fans what they think of the movie. So I want to have some. I want to do something special for Spider-Man, bro, for sure. Let's see here. So WYHIWYG 242 says Odyssey was bad. See, hey, I can't even debate you on that. If it's, hey, bro. Hello, movie fans. What's up? Is that Delia? Or was that the Delia? I'm gonna call you Lightwood. Delia Whitewood. Hello, movie fans. How you doing? There's a video of the actual bomb that Nolan should have used instead of his explosion. His was minuscule. Yeah, I heard about that too. I just joined. Oppenheimer suck. I mean, nah, bro, not for me. I liked Oppenheimer. I did. And Delight Woods 5563 said I heard Odyssey was bad. LOL. I won't say it was Dahlia. Okay, there we go. Dahlia Lightwood. There we go. Thank you for giving me that pronunciation explanation. Dahlia. There we go. But Dahlia, yeah, no. And yeah, I'm a musician too, percussionist. Oh, that's what's up. And WYHIWYG, another rapper. No, listen, man. No, I do rock music. No, I do rock music. I do pop music. I do rap. I do R&B. I even like to write. Wanted to do an EDM track. I actually have music on Spotify and on the social. I have music on all the streaming platforms. So yeah, it's under my first name. It's Cassie. And if any of you guys want to check it out, yeah. So yeah. See here. Oh, she said, Dahlia said no problem. Ahead of time and just place your review and then position the clips appropriately. Yeah, man. No, I'm gonna definitely get into that. I promise you that. Because I'm definitely gonna do that though for sure. And then Dahlia Lightwood said I play handpan drums, steel drums, and xylophone. Awesome. Do you have a social media? Do you record yourself playing? You should do that for sure. Dandy Loop 417 says, "Are you gonna check out that new Ramayana movie? They're saying it's India's biggest epic ever, straight up Lord of the Rings vibes." Bro, listen, Dandy Loop. I don't think anybody knows, and I need to get back into it. I love Indian films. I love Triple R. I love Salar, Brahmastra. Brahmastra. I had a fun time with it. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more epic and bigger grand scale than what I thought it would be. But Brahmastra was cool. But nah, man, I love Triple R, man, and I love Solar. I can't wait. I want them to. They need to hurry up. They need to hurry up with Triple R and make a sequel. They need to hurry up with Solar Part 2 for sure, man. They need to hurry up. but I'm down to go. I'm down to see it. If it's the Indian version of Lord of the Rings, I'm down, bro. I'll watch it. Okay. And Dahlia says, I'm not on social media much, but mostly just here talking shit and watching random videos. Hey man, that's basically what YouTube was created for, man. Just to watch random videos. That's good old classic YouTube vibes. Oh, see well 510. What's happening, my brother? What's going on? And he said, have you seen the Elliot page on the cover of Men's Health magazine? Bro, please stop. I literally, bro, see well when I I that was AI generated. I could have sworn that was AI generated. Is that real? I'm not even gonna even get into that because when you talk about, Elliot Page and things of that nature and those topics, it's always a huge argument, a huge debate, with the community. And I'm just like, bro, if that's what we're doing here, freak, bro. Yeah, the Elliot Page memes had me rolling too. You see how she was running in the movie? Like, I'm like, bro, this is her run. Well, this is him running in the movie. Like, just it's like I understand, like he's hungry, thirsty, just tired, and just not fit to be a soldier and stuff. It was just watching the movie, bro. I was rolling, bro. I was just looking at this like, are you kidding me? But bro, yeah. Okay, but Dahlia says mostly into movies and music, into rock, into reggae pop, into island music like Hawaiian and Caribbean. Oh, interesting. And then the Elliot Page memes had me rolling. Yeah, bro. I was just like, I can't believe it, bro. Yo, listen, bro. Yeah, Sewell. That's what I'm saying, bro. He said agreed. Mel Gibson or Denise Villeneuve. Yeah, Denis Villeneuve. How do you say it? Yeah, Denise Villeneuve. Yeah, Denise Villeneuve would have made a better Odyssey film. I agree, bro. Hey, Mel Gibson, Denis Villeneuve, or give me Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson is still at the top of my list. If they had to redo this Odyssey, because he's going to I need him to put a little bit of Lord of the Rings sauce, just in Greek mythological style, and give us a trilogy. And we there you have it. There's your there's your dinner. Dinner is served. I want Peter Jackson all the way. And Dahlia says nothing against trans folks. I'm a lesbian myself, so I'm part of the LGBTQ community. Okay, but yeah, Elliot and Armor looks good, bro. And it just is. I just felt bad, bro. Elliot Page, like Elliot just pops up, gets just gets speared up, and that's all she wrote. I'm like, dang, just barely in the movie, dude. It's like when it comes to Elliot, Lupita, and Zendaya, their parts in the movie was just somewhat just random and minuscule, that it's like I wanted them to have enough time to really display a good performance, like make me really feel it, make rock me to the core, make it really have me in awe with your performance. But they didn't even have much time on screen to do that, really. And what we got was just kind of like just a bland performance, like you're just reading the script, kind of bland for me. So I'm like, dude, anybody could have played those roles, but whatever. And then Dandy Loop says, honestly, I thought Triple R. What? Fuck. You thought Triple R was garbage? No. Except for not to. It's still wild to me that it actually won an Oscar for that song. Yo, hey man, not. Hey, listen, that song was pretty fun, bruh. That song was pretty fun, man. Oh man, I can't believe you thought Triple R was total garbage. Well, what do you thought about Solar? Did you like Solar? Oh man. Ugh. I mean, it's a Triple R's garbage. Oh, jeez. And then Dahlia says, and the costumes are a day. Bro, don't get me started on the costumes, bro. I've seen better cosplay outfit, bro. The Troy, dude, the soldiers of Troy, those costumes, they look like marshmallow paper mache. And then the costume of the king of Greece, like what was his name? Amagidian or whatever they called him, the one with the Batman skull or whatever. It just takes you out of the movie. because it's just kind of like a goofy parody type of vibe that it gives when you're seeing things so over the top and so just not living up to potential with the armor and the suits. I'm just like, dang, bro. I'm like, why did made the suits look like that? Why does the armor look like that, bro? And then Sewell said if they were smart, they would have made this into a trilogy, bro. Yes, like, dude, it was 10 years of him on sea trying to get home, and then also the 10 years as well of him being in Troy, trying to overthrow Troy and everything like that. But overall, it's a 20-year epic. But mainly the 10-year epic, like they call it, when he's on sea just trying to get home and everything like that. So no, they should have definitely made this movie a trilogy. I don't know what the freak they were thinking, trying to stuff all this into one film. It's just I can't. Yeah, bro. Jonathan Nolan is a great writer, bro. I'm telling you, bro. He helped his brother Christopher write the Dark Knight. Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises, Memento, Interstellar. He should have told his brother, yo, Jonathan, can you help me write the can you help me write the Odyssey, please? Yeah. Excuse me. And then Triple R was phenomenal. I've never seen a 3-hour movie that flew by so quick. I was fully engaged. I love that movie, bro. I'm right there with you, Tree and Cove, man. Tree and Cove, I'm right there with you, man. Triple R is freaking awesome. Triple R, rated R. And then C. Well says critic list is a better aggregate than Rotten Tomatoes. Bro, again, I keep telling people, but Rotten Tomatoes is a bot bribing movie critic system. And does it and I keep telling I said it earlier in this live, and I said it in my latest review, basically the part 2 review for the Odyssey, that Rotten Tomatoes is owned by Comcast, and Comcast owns Universal Pictures, and Universal Pictures produced the Odyssey. The Odyssey is a Universal Pictures movie. So there's no way in hell Rotten Tomatoes, that's owned by Comcast, who owns Universal, is going to basically crap. They're not going to. They're going to make sure that they're going to give that a epic grade, because the movie is owned by Universal Pictures, and then Universal Pictures is owned by Comcast, which Comcast owns Rotten Tomatoes and Universal Pictures. They're not, so it's like you got to think. All of the critics that reviewed from Rotten Tomatoes are Hollywood shills. Bro, it makes me so sick when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes. It's such a new age, new, just generational bullshit system, because we didn't have no Rotten Tomatoes back in the day, baby. We had Roger Ebert with 2 thumbs up. We had legit experience, cutthroat, movie critics back in the day. You get 2 thumbs up from Robert, you're good to go. If you get 1 thumb up from Robert, it's like, all right, you feel me? We still, it wasn't as good to him, but it was passable. He still had a decent time. You know what I'm saying? And when Robert gives you 2 thumbs down, your movie's dead in the water. We didn't have no Rotten Tomatoes back in the day. It's just new age garbage with this Hollywood system. Rotten Tomatoes has stolen the common sense mind of being able to think on your own and analyze a movie on your own for the newer generation and the audience and these kids coming up. That lets you know, oh, Rotten Tomatoes says the movie is Rotten Tomatoes gave the movie 100%, so I'm gonna watch it. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 90% and 80%, so it's still fresh. It's still pretty good to watch. Like, come on, bro. Watch the movie and make up your own freaking opinion. That's it. And then, yeah. Let's see here. Dahlia says that, yeah, I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes. Don't. It's garbage. Rotten Tomatoes is not to be trusted. And Chin and Cove says triple R rated G, so your kids can see it as well. All right, Dahlia says Netflix used to allow user reviews but stopped it years ago. Exactly. Exactly. It's pathetic because they know that Netflix knows that some of their stuff is garbage. And if they allowed free reviews on there, they would have been getting crapped on. Cause yeah, man, Netflix, if you think about it, Netflix is kind of I think the only thing that I stopped paying for Netflix, to be real, because Netflix is just not giving that same quality that it did, a couple of years ago. If you think about it, like for me, the shows that I love for Netflix, man, it's like, bro, I was such a huge fan of Cobra Kai, a huge fan of Stranger Things, you know what I'm saying? A huge fan of Money Heist. I love Money Heist. A huge fan of Squid Games. Season 1, Squid Game season 2 is epic in its own right, but season 3 just destroyed everything about that show. So, man, bro, back in the day, bro, Netflix had bangers, bro. They had bangers. And then yeah, Dahlia says, it's their license to make crap. Facts. It's like, yo, for real. What did James Bond say? I have a license to kill. License to kill. I have a license to kill. But yo, what's up, Blue City Empire Sports 1468? I wish we had more original movies and shows, but instead we either, bro. Stop! You're cooking. You're speaking facts. I keep saying this too, bro. Dude. All we get is reboot, remake, prequel, book adaptation, cartoon adaptation, anime live action, uh you know what I'm saying? Disney live actions. All we get are live actions, prequels, sequels, remakes. I'm like, dude, Hollywood has ran out of ideas. It's over, y'all. We might as well just get used to it. It's no point complaining anymore. It's over. It's over. We rarely get original takes at this point. We rarely get original films, and it's funny because I still haven't even. I know you guys are gonna be like, "Yo, you're crazy, bro." I haven't even watched Obsession yet. I have not watched Obsession yet, bro. And look, that's an original story. That is an original film, and it's doing epic. It had a budget of 700. It had a budget of 750,000, and I think it made over 400 million. If I'm not mistaken, worldwide. So yeah, man. And then you got Backrooms too. I'm telling you, man. I guess Hollywood is going to be ran by YouTubers at this point. Hollywood is going to be ran by YouTubers. It's just, oh my god, I agree about reboots, but yeah, and remakes. I'm so tired of all of them. I just want a new movie. Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, I want some new movies too, man. You heard about that new South Korean sci-fi flip, bro? Yes, I heard about that. Name Hope. I saw the trailer. They're saying it's an absolute wild ride, like a mix of monster horror. I'm excited for it, bro. I'm not gonna cap, dude. I might see that movie in theaters, but I'm scared, bro. I'm not gonna lie, dude. It's freaking scared, dude. They're gonna have probably a bunch of weird looking aliens and monsters and stuff, a spacecraft, sci-fi. I'm down to watch. It's probably gonna be creepy as freak, bro. But I'm definitely gonna be down to watch Hope. I heard about that. I got my eye on that. It's just Hollywood just isn't letting new ideas in. There are always new ideas. Backrooms and Obsession prove that people want new stories. Facts. Those movies made bank. And Backrooms is A24's highest grossing film, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, what's up? Is that Jorge? Is it Jorge's Prado or George's Prado? But how you doing? He said hello from France. As always with Nolan, he don't know slash won't adapt fantasy and magic. Exactly. He always wants a logical explanation for everything magic. Dude, like I said, we should call Christopher Nolan's middle name is Christopher Grounded Nolan. He just it's like he's allergic to fantasy, mysticism, magic, just a supernatural force. He likes logical explanations. He's like realistic things. He's just not. That's why I said Greek mythology is not his cup of tea. It's not. Let's see here. And Blue City Empire Sports says only horror movies to me are the only ones still doing original movies, in my opinion. No, facts. They are. It is what it is. They are. All right. And Jorge Prado says his Batman is a military slash cop who lives in Chicago. There's no Gotham City. Facts, bro. This is what you get, man. It's just like he's going to ground things as much as possible. He said, "Oh my gosh." But yeah, hey man, but I can't, bro. I love Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, man. But again, Christopher Nolan had help from his brother with some of those Dark Knight, with those Batman films. So I can't give him all the credit. And then Romeo had Juliet says, "I can't wait, can't wait for Nolan adapting Rick and Morty entirely." Yeah, freak, hell no, what the hell? I'm good on that. Blue City Empire says, "What's your opinion about this new all-black cast fantasy movie based on the book series Children of Blood and Bone coming to?" I heard about that and I seen it. I don't know anything about it, but I mean, it looks interesting. You feel me? At least, hey, we got I, black people. Just need to we need to just stick with our own original stories and our own characters. I'm so tired of the race swapping and blackwashing or whitewashing, stuff like that. Let's keep things as accurate and original as possible. Because if you think about it, bro, each ethnicity and each race has stories set for them that are so timeless and epic. There's enough to go around for each race. So just make things accurate. That's it, to the race of their stories and things like that. So I mean, that's cool though. And then he said Nolan is a science guy. Oh, he's never openly said it, but I would suspect he's an atheist. You know, I wouldn't be surprised the way Nolan and his movies are set up and things of that nature. I wouldn't be surprised if he is an atheist, but hey, I'm gonna call him Nolan the science guy. He's like Bill Nye the science guy, bro. That's Christopher Nolan for you. And then Jorge Prado says the cast for the Odyssey is not even a pro. Oh, the cast for Odysseus is not even a problem, as Matt Damon is a Irish guy to play a Greek. A major problem is lack of magic. Yeah, bro. Again, to me, Matt Damon is Odysseus. It wasn't a bad really choice for me. It's just again the way that he was directed to act as Odysseus, the character, and like you said, the lack of magic and the lack of gods. Dude, this movie would have been a million times better. This movie would have been a million times better if there was involvement from the if we actually got to see the gods and there was more bare bone, involvement and more magic, like visible magic, like you felt the godly presence. That's what I think about it in regards to that. Speaking of which, Mel Gibson is coming out with the Resurrection of Christ. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that. I'm pretty much excited for that. I mean, if we discuss Nolan cast, everyone is wrong. Not just Helen. Hey man, hey, I guess. And then, oh, what's up, Robert? On a whim, he says the Odyssey was great. The Cyclops was intense. Yo, hey, I respect your opinion. Listen, bro, to me, dude, the Cyclops scene in the Odyssey was it was intense. I'm not gonna lie. Like when the Cyclops came in and put the rock up, I was like this in like the seat because it's like, dude, if I was in that cave, I would have killed myself. I'm not gonna cap. I would have killed if I was in the cave trap with that Cyclops, I would be pushing my friends in front of me, my crew in front of me. I'm not going out like that. There was a part there was a part with the Cyclops where you see the Cyclops grab one of the crew guys. He grabs one of the soldiers in the crew, and like I said, you see him, eating him, and it's like when he bit off half of his body. I think you could see as the intestines and the lung like fall out of the Cyclops mouth, and the lung was like right here. What I said, bro, that is disgusting, and that is people, dude. At this point, people want Christopher Nolan to do a horror film, and I'm not against that. That'd be a pretty interesting project for him to do. And then Horace Prado says, "Let's say Helen is just a cherry on top of a wrong cast, but who can cast Greek only? It's Hollywood, so there is compromises." Hey, and then Blue City says, "We need more Greek mythology movies, but this time, if it needs to be about the origin of all the gods, bro, listen, people can hate on that Clash of Titans 2010 remake all they want, bro. I love Liam Neeson as Zeus, and he's like, release the Kraken." Like, I'm like, bro, if that movie had a better script, that movie would be on fire. I'd be on fire. And then Horace Prado says, "I love the movie Troy, and the cast is also wrong." Facts, because they Troy was an overall better structured film to me than Odyssey, but and even when it came to Troy was even casted wrong in a certain aspect, and when it came to Troy, they didn't have any. There weren't a lot of gods. The gods, they took mysticism out of that movie, and there wasn't much gods in there as well. So yeah, so even Troy being another the other story that the epic Homer has made, he and that was based off the Iliad. So again, they keep grounding Homer's stories, and I don't know why at all. Robert almost says, I don't even which one was Helen. She's in it that little. Fact, she's really in it. So let me see here. Lifelong 6687 says you should start putting out your takes on Indian cinema, bro. Honestly, people would really rock with your perspective. You get it, ton of support. I'm gonna get on it, bro. At this point, I'm gonna start reacting to more Indian trailers. Guys, if you're new here, there was a time where I was reacting to a lot of Indian stuff. This is my second channel, and I restarted this channel too. I deleted all my old videos, but I promise you I'm not gonna do it again. This is it for me. I feel like I found my stride with what I want and what I want this channel to be structured as. So I will definitely be doing a lot of Indian content and Korean content as well. I want to do anime too. I want to do as much as I can, guys. But I'm telling you guys, it's money, man. I gotta work, make the bread, pay the bills, do work on music projects. Hey, listen, if I have a Patreon and people are supporting me and they're dropping donations, stuff like that, if I was getting sponsorships, if I was able to have YouTube as a full-time job, bro, I'd be entertaining the freak out of you mother freakers. I'm telling you, I'd be entertaining everybody. But it's just that, again, just having enough funds to live off of YouTube, which I'm not at that point yet. I'm not that level yet. But the day that I do, I promise you guys that I'll have so much content for you. You guys you'll be shitting out your brains. Honestly, I'll be giving you what I need to give you. And then I said, I know about the original story behind the Cyclops, but it's a campy story, dude. Man, Robert on one, it's campy, bro. But it would have been cool to see, man. I'm sorry, bro. I wanted them to go there. I did, man. Kirk Douglas was also not a great choice for Odysseus. Yeah, I saw the other interpretations of Odysseus from the miniseries and the other interpretations of the Odyssey. So the original book is really silly. Oh man, but dude, Robert on a whim. If he could have still made it serious though. But I still wanted him to portray certain aspects in the book, but not for tone, just to see it. I really wanted Polyphemus to have a personality. I really do. And hold on, guys, I got a lot of comments coming through. It's crazy. It's 11:13, and we got 18 people in here. Honestly, I guess I might be closing up soon, guys, but I'll stay on for a little bit more longer. I see Hervin Fatala. What's up, Hervin Fatala? If I'm saying is Hervin Fatala, if I'm saying the name right. All I can say is that if you prioritize Greek culture, then Nolan's film artistry, you will hate it. If you prioritize Greek culture, what more than Greek culture than the Nolan? I disagree on that, man. I think if Nolan really just went by the Greek mythology and, did some justice for Greek culture, he would have still done good. But in my opinion, again, I would rather Peter Jackson probably had handled this, or Mel Gibson, or Denis Villeneuve. They would have been a good choice, and this movie should have been a trilogy in my eyes. That's just as me, Hervin. And then some say Mel Gibson would have cast Greek, only speaking Greek, but one only top three director gets massive budget. Interesting. Also, celebrities still need to audition for the roles they won. They cannot just be given to them just because of their names or their status. I would hope so, man. Trust me, man. I would hope so, sir. I would hope so. To Rotten on a whim. They cut out the coolest part of the Cyclops segment. Nobody, I know, bro. If you would have said nobody has blinded me, and you see his you see the other Cyclops, like his brothers or sisters or anything like that, and then freaking just after they escape, and Odysseus tells him, "Yeah, man, my name actually isn't nobody. It's Odysseus, bitch." And then the Cyclops is like, "Daddy Poseidon, man." He's just shouting at Daddy, man. He's like, "Odysseus has blinded me." And Poseidon's like, "What? You blinded my son, mother freak?" You feel me? That's how the jump off of the tribulation start, is by, the Cyclops Polyphemus, who is Poseidon's son. He's yelling, saying that, Odysseus blinded me. You feel me? And then that's when Poseidon, he begged and prayed to his father Poseidon, and that's where the trials and tribulations ensued. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I really wanted to see the part with the Cyclops in the story get played out, but not in a cheesy way. But it just been dope to see that. That's the main, like, catalyst of why Odysseus got, basically got punished. I would say Greek salads are a larger part of the Greek culture than their myths. Stop, man. Come on, Robert Owen. Calm down, man. He says a movie with no stars in it and speaking Greek wouldn't have any producers to bet on it. I mean, look at Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm saying? Lord of the Rings didn't, at that time, the biggest really. I would say Lord of the Rings really didn't have that much big star power like that either, though. What, except Ian McKellen, Orlando Bloom, and whatnot. And look at what happened with Lord of the Rings. It's one of, if not the greatest fantasy trilogy of all time. So I don't know about that one, Prado. And Trian Cove says, "I have not seen the Odyssey, but this should have been Nolan's horror film. Do you think Nolan should have leaned more into making this film a full blown horror?" I would have been for it, bro. You might as well. Might as well, man. All right, so Georges Prado says, "So bottom line, Mel Gibson wouldn't have any credit and liberty to do what he wants, unfortunately." Huh. He said, Cora Gray says, "Hey, hon, I saw the film in my phone. I like it. And my boy Travis Scott did good on his film debut. But other than that, the cast did a good job." No, I respect that. I mean, hey, I respect that. I respect your opinion. I know you probably saw my review. I thought otherwise, but no, but I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it, Cora Gray. And one more thing, it's supposed to take place in sunny South Europe, not some cold Nordic places with no sun. Cora Gray says, "However, I'm going to see it in theaters tomorrow afternoon." Yeah, go see it. Go see it. I'd love to see what you think about it. Lifelong 6687 says, "I used to be a huge fan of Hollywood, but it feels like the quality is on a steady decline. That's exactly why my interest has shifted toward Korean and Indian cinema." Listen, listen, Lifelong. You're preaching to the choir, Lifelong 6687, man. Because if you think about it, nowadays, a lot of people, Hollywood is just losing its stride, and now people are turning to Indian cinema, Korean cinema. They're turning to anime. They are turning to anime, bro. Anime is king at this point. Is king. Storytelling, action, character development, the protagonist, the antagonist. They have all the ingredients. It's just, I don't know, man. I really hope. I can only hope and pray Hollywood gets it together, bro. I don't know. I don't know, man. Or Horges Prado says, and let's say the Odysseus is far more accurate than Troy, despite some takes. I mean, I could see that. That's a fair state. That's a fair thing to say. I believe we also need more unknown actors. Hey, Blue City, I'm down with that. I agree. You know, there's so many actors in the world right now that would probably blow our socks off if they gotten a chance in Hollywood and was able to be have exposure. I'm done seeing the same actors and actresses over and over again. I'm over it. We need some new stars ASAP. Dalia says, yeah, the trailer looks so dark and gloomy. Movies like that give me migraines. That's the main reason I haven't seen it yet. I mean, it's not all entirely dark and gloomy, but it is mostly kind of grim and in that color palette, though. I'll tell you that right now, Dahlia. The film was pretty scary. I just want people to see it so I don't have to spoil it. I went into this movie wanting to see the pigs, bro. Listen, Robert on a whim. The scene with the pigs and the Cyclops, dude, was so just horrific and grotesque. That's why I can see that's why people those two scenes right there with the pigs and the Cyclops is why people are basically voting for Nolan to start doing scary movies now. So yeah, I agree on that end. Dolly said I heard there are lots of gongs, chimes in the soundtrack. As a percussionist, I can't deal with the lousy beat in any music. Bro, there was a part in the movie where it's just repetitive, like drums repetitive thing. Like it's like, dude, would you stop? Like I get it, like change it up. So there is a part in there that is repetitive with the drums and just the hitting and the basing, like when they basically start to invade Troy, but you'll see that part. Yeah, I tend to watch way more obscure movies and go to the theater less because movies are mostly garbage now. Facts. I think like Hollywood has to think about it. We bust our ass and work hard for our money. So can you imagine going can you imagine seeing a movie back to back to back and they're all mediocre to mid to garbage? You spend all your money on what? Like it could be very frustrating. Gorgeous Prado says, let me see here. The dark and cold take Nolan chose for this movie is for one thing, supposed credibility. And I think that's why he is hidden gods and monsters. What a shame. Amen. Again, I keep saying it, bro. He This movie would have been 1,000 times better if he revealed the gods and he actually like brought the mysticism to life and just pulled the trigger on what made the story so fun. And then yes, agree. We need way more unknown actors for real. Cora Gray says, by the way, the reason why I did watch the movie on my phone because I know there are some Greek monsters. Greek monsters scary, especially some of the jump scares in that film. Yo, listen, Cora, I'm not gonna cap. The part with the giant in the cave, that part scared. Like it was low key scary, man. It was kind of scary. And then the part with the pigs, I don't want to spoil much, but man, just prepare yourself. And I saw it in IMAX, mind you. I saw all this in IMAX, mind you, bro. So you got to prepare yourself. I'm having Rome mythology into movies. Me too, man. Cora, at least George's Prado says, Cora, at least you didn't pay for that. And then Bad Drums, Dahlia says, bad drums aren't cool. It can really ruin a song when the drums are off beat or off key if it's a harmonic percussion instrument. But it's only that one part. It's only that one part to where they just they keep going with the drums and everything, and then it stops. But it goes for about a good, like, I think it goes for about a good 5 to 10 minutes straight of just those repetitive noises and drums and stuff. I think 5 to 15 minutes, but after that, it's just that one part, and then it doesn't happen again. Did you see it in genuine IMAX or Limax? I just saw it in genuine IMAX, nothing special. I just saw it in just regular IMAX, and then and then Gorgeous Prado says Zendaya fatigue is real. It looks like we are watching Dune. I love Dune, man. Hey, listen, Zendaya to the side. Zendaya does her Zendaya thing and most of her stuff, but I love me some Dune, man. I love Dune to death, bro. I can't wait to see Dune 3. Zendaya needs some acting lessons too. Zendaya is not. I'm not gonna say that she's an extraordinary, amazing actress, but she's good enough. It's and even in Euphoria, there's certain times she's took it there, so I'll give her that. But I see what you mean. She can. I want her to really one day have a role to where she just blows me away. She just blows me away. But she is just in so many movies lately. Just they gotta give some more spots to other new people, bro. It's just not fair. It's not fair, bro. I'm like, who is she sleeping with somebody high up in Hollywood? She's getting too many roles. She has to stop. She has to be stopped. She has to be fair and give room for other people, bro. Another thing, Cora Gray says, another thing is that I also think the reason why Nolan have a stack of all casts in this film, not because of their status and who they are, but because of they got talent, especially Matt Damon. I guess. I guess, man. And again, I always say I didn't mind the casting. I just wanted them to all bring it in their roles. That's all. That's all, man. Blue City says Disney used to be a king of animation, and the last time they won for best animation was Encanto. Bro, don't get me started. If talking about Disney, I'm gonna split my desk in half. Disney used to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, but now back in the day, Disney was king. Disney was unstoppable back in the day, and now I'm just sick at the sight of what Disney has become. Zendaya is gorgeous, but yeah, she's been in way too many movies lately. Agreed. I have Sydney Sweeney fatigue too. Yo, honestly, I mean, when it comes to Sydney Sweeney, hey man, no offense to her, Sydney Sweeney is a very decent and okay actor. She's not bad at all. She's pretty decent. And then Sydney Sweeney is pretty. She's a decent, good actor when she needs to be, but she needs to have faith in herself that she doesn't have to show her tits every 5 seconds. Like, yes, Sydney Sweeney has nice, beautiful tits, but listen, baby, you don't have to. You don't have to keep showing your boobs to be relevant. She needs to understand that. Like, you just got to work on your acting a little bit more and get well versed in that and stop showing your boobs. That's pretty much it. But is Zendaya married to Tom Holland? Yeah, she's married to Tom Holland. Timothy fatigue. Oh, you have fatigue of Timothy Chalamet, bro. I mean, hey, bro. Timothy's best role to me is Dune. Period. So I mean that's the sliding part for me. It's just Dune when it comes to Timothy Chalamet. So and I did like Marty Supreme though. He did good in Marty Supreme. Also, Zendaya did a good job. Let me see here. Also, Zendaya did a good job from the small parts in that film, but I'm looking forward to see her in Dune Part 3 and Spider Brand New Day. Also, Z is married to Tom Holland, so no, she not asleep. Cora, hey, listen, I hear you on that, but it's Hollywood, baby. You never know what's going down in Hollywood, but I get you on that. But yeah, I can't wait to see Dune 3, bro, and Spider Man Brand New Day. Kind of like Pedro Pascal. Yeah, it's true. He's a great actor. Well, my freaking, he's in way too many projects, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. The same people keep getting casted, bro, in different movies, bro. I'm like, y'all gotta give room for other people, bro. Jeez. However, Cora Grace says, however, I know she said in her interview that she is taking a break after her run from Spider-Man to Dune after this. Yeah, true, bro. She gonna take a break. She's been in movies for the last what 5, 6 years, free, just straight in like damn near everything. So yeah, at this point, she better take a break. She done so many damn movies, bro. The Odyssey, Spider-Man, Brand New Day, bro. Like she's in Dune. She did that movie with Robert called that when they were married. I'm like, this girl's every freaking where. She did Euphoria just now with the last season. Zendaya, sit your ass down. Fuck. And then Timothy isn't quite as overexposed as the others mentioned above. Yeah, I agree exactly. Dahlia for for now, but wait. Blue City Empire Sports says Hollywood needs to stop using CGI animals. Can we at least get some real animals in the Jordan in the in the movie instead of using C? Yo, Blue City. If anything, if they need to start using real animals and practical animals. If anything, well, I mean, they need to start using real animals with practical effects and less CGI. We need more star diversity. Always the same people, the same persons in Hollywood playing in every major movie. Dude, I haven't heard anything from Michael B. Jordan since he won his Oscar awards. I think Michael B. Jordan is going to be doing Miami Vice, from what I've heard soon. He's going to be doing Miami Vice. And Horges Prado says, I'm just tired. And Dahlia says, yeah, the CGI animals are getting creepy and ugly as F. Yeah, bro, they got to try to use real animals with a mixture of practical effects. They need to. The pigs didn't scare me in the movie. Now it's the sea monsters out of nowhere eating the army and the shit. And dude, it was Cora. It wasn't that bad in the theater. It's just the thing that gets you is the jump scare of the noise when they grab and they start pulling away and stuff like that. It's the jump scare of just when they just hurry up and grab somebody. Oh snap! That IMAX system is just crazy, man. IMAX is the way to go. Just prepare yourself. Christopher Nolan really let me down with this one. I had such high expectations for Odyssey. Bro style, I know. Bro style, and welcome, bro style. And guys, I'll tell you this, guys. It is 11:30 on my end. I'm about to end the stream. Oh my gosh. I'm so tired, guys. I'm so tired. If anything, I might do another live stream tomorrow for you guys, or I might probably just throw a video for you guys to enjoy. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna be hanging it up right now, so I can go get some rest because I gotta wake up early, man. I gotta wake up early and do some things and move some things and try to get around some things, you know what I'm saying? So guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this live for sure. I really hope you guys did, man. Thumbs up, dude. I subscribed. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dahlia. I appreciate that. I really do. And then he says, Horges Prado says, I'm waiting now for James Gunn to be fired so we can wave DC Studio. No, man. Hey, bro, I just watched Justice vs. DC, bro. He said the CGI chimp and Michael was atrocious. Yeah, I saw that. It looked bad. And then Prado said, save DC Studios. Bro, dude, I hope so, man. Oh, God. I subscribed to. Thank you so much, Prado. Thank you for subscribing. Dahlia again. Dahlia, thank you so much for subscribing as well. Thank you. I try to aim to please, guys. Thank you so much. It was a great show. I enjoyed myself tonight. Still got 9 people in here, guys. I promise you, I'll be probably doing another live tomorrow. If I don't do another live tomorrow, I will definitely do another video. But thank you guys so much. I love you guys. Thank you for the support. And I will do my best to bring out some more videos to you guys as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great, awesome night, okay? You guys take care. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.